So 2009 and 2010 were the years when the world was going through a rough phase. We were still recovering from the Great Recession, and there was slowdown everywhere, including the automotive industry. But in the middle of all of this, BMW Motorrad decided that they want to have a go in the cutthroat litre-class superbike segment, and that's when they launched the S1000RR. Now that was the time when this segment was ruled by the Honda Fireblades and Yamaha R1s and Kawasaki Ninjas of the world. So BMW, a brand that was known for making GS motorcycles, adventure motorcycles and tourers, they came out of nowhere and they caught a brand new bike. And they were the newcomers in the segment, so nobody took them seriously, especially with that asymmetric face. That bike didn't look all that special. But when the riders around the world rode it, the BMW S1000RR instantly gained the cult status in the superbike world. And since then, they have been at the top of their game. You see, the original S1000RR was the first bike to launch with many segment-first features. It was the first litre-class superbike to come with traction control, among many other features. And it was such a phenomenon that it blew the pants of all its rivals. However, over the time, the competition has definitely caught up, and there are a lot of rivals who do things slightly better than the old S1000RR. Now, to address this, BMW has now launched the all-new third generation motorcycle, and there are a lot of changes. And the new version has just gone on sale in India. And here it is, the all-new third generation BMW S1000RR. It has just landed on our shores, and as per BMW, it's a completely new bike. They've built this completely from the ground up, and they go as far as to claim that this bike doesn't even have one single bolt from the previous model. So imagine, that's the kind of confidence they have, and there's a lot of promise in this motorcycle. And yeah, there are a lot of new changes. We'll come to that later on. But right now, it's time to hit the track, and I think I've been looking forward to ride the S1000RR, and it goes all the way back to the original from 2009. So yeah, let's hit the track. Everything is new here, and while that's great news, not everyone is pleased about one aspect of this new model. And that's because the asymmetrical headlamps of the old model are gone. Instead, this new S1000RR features a pair of sleek LED headlamps. Now, you can't deny that it looks very pretty now, but the aggression has been toned down somewhat. Plus, the Predator face of the old model used to be the S1000RR's signature dish. That was what made it unique. Apart from the new conventional face, the third gen S1000RR is as compact as its predecessor, which means dimension-wise, it's more super sport than superbike. In fact, at 2073 mm, it's only around 70 mm longer than the TVS Apache RR310. This is also the first time that a BMW motorcycle is coming with the brand's revered M badge. Here though, the M package brings a special racing red, blue and white color, carbon fiber wheels and a lightweight lithium-ion battery. Speaking of weight, at 197 kilos, the new RR is 11 kilograms lighter than its predecessor. While in M spec, it weighs even lighter, only 193.5 kilograms. The new S1000RR now also comes equipped with a crisp 6.5-inch TFT display, and it's packed with features. And I feel this screen is definitely the best in the segment. Lightness was the buzzword during the launch of the new S1000RR, as BMW claims to have shaved kilos and grams from anywhere they could. The main contribution, however, comes from the engine, as it's a full 4 kilos lighter. The 999cc inline-4 is all new but retains the bore and stroke of the old bike. But it's got a few new tricks up its sleeve. First up, it gets BMW's ShiftCam technology, which basically varies valve timing and valve stroke on the intake side. That means there are two sets of cam lobes, one for low RPMs to boost low end torque and improve efficiency, while the other to offer more lift at higher RPM to enhance the top end. Coupled to the ShiftCam are 10% lighter hollow bore titanium valves, meaning all the internals are featherweight, and the engine can scream all the way up to a red line of 14,600 RPM, which is 400 revs more than the old bike. All these updates combined result in a power bump of 8 bhp, meaning the peak horsepower output has now crossed the 200 bhp barrier. Torque is identical at 113 Nm, but because of the ShiftCam, BMW claims that at least 100 Nm of that is available from 5500 rpm. Performance-wise, this engine is an absolute monster. The motor is throttle happy and revs manically. Of course, being an inline-4, it doesn't quite hammer out torque at low revs like say the Ducati Panigale's V4, but the acceleration is blistering fast once the engine revs past 10,000 rpm. All I can say is that it's mind-bending quick. Forget us mere mortals, even if you happen to be a seasoned racer, your brain will struggle to register the way this thing consumes straights. However, what really stands out about the S1000RR is that you never feel you're out of control, and that's the beauty of this machine. There are two reasons for this. First, the handling is simply epic. It feels completely dialed in at a racetrack thanks to its new lightweight flex frame, Marzocchi front forks with DDC semi-active suspension, a quick steering, and carbon fiber wheels shot with sticky Metzlers. And then there are the electronics. The S1000RR is brimming with rider aids. There are 4 riding modes: rain, road, dynamic, and race, which are offered as standard. Plus, there is an optional Pro mode. In this, you can configure the throttle response, wheelie control, traction control, engine braking as per your requirements using 3 sub-modes: Race Pro 1, 2, and 3. However, when I began, the bike was in standard race mode. But even in race mode, the electronics ensured that I felt like a superhuman of some sort. On the straights, you can open the tabs fully and the bike doesn't even twitch. It just grips and darts ahead like there's no tomorrow. Similarly, on corner exits, you can open the throttle like an amateur, but instead of being launched into orbit, you exit corners glued onto the tarmac as if you are the next best thing in WSPK. Make no mistake though, the electronics do not sap any fun in the process. Neither do the electronics feel overbearing at any time. And this is precisely what makes the RR one of the most forgiving big bikes out there. Now, while the RR completely blew my mind with its performance and agility, I felt the new Hayes front brake, which replaced the Brembos of the old bike, weren't as strong as I would have liked on a bike this powerful. Sure, the front brake lever has a progressive feel and it offers sharp performance, but at high speeds, especially above 250 kmph, I expected more bite from the front setup. So I've now ridden the 3rd Gen S1000RR at the Budh International Circuit, and what do I think about it? Well, to be honest, I don't consider myself qualified enough to come to a concrete conclusion, and there are 2 reasons for that. First, I got very limited time with the bike. I only rode it for around 8 laps. And then there's the thing of its performance. You see, not everyone can exploit the kind of performance these bikes offer. Whether you're a racer or whether you are a regular track junkie, it doesn't matter, because this bike will always offer you more, and you can't really reach that level. But for me, the one thing that really stood out about the S1000RR is the fact that it's so manageable. I mean, anyone can get on that bike and they can straight away ride it. It's not scary. The electronics work in the background all the time, and they make you feel like a superhero, because all the time you're riding this bike fast, you feel like you're on the limit, but the bike is sorting out everything for you. And then other thing is, it's very compact and it's lightweight. That means it's super agile as well. So if you are in the market with that sort of money and you want to buy a top dog litre-class superbike, I think the new S1000RR makes a really solid case for itself.